up, guys?
Hi.
Hey.
How are you?
Thanks for coming on. We were just learning some Dutch.
Oh, you probably have learned more than me. I ask our coffee guy every morning to try to explain to me how to say good morning, and I still can't do it. So,
Well, behoorting is hello.
I need to get to an important topic. What are you guys doing for Thanksgiving tomorrow?
Yeah.
I actually don't know. I think they're giving us dinner, but actually, they probably are giving us because we have like stadium walkthrough, or like practice, pregame practice in the stadium. I think tomorrow night. I haven't actually looked at the calendar, but so then we'll get home very late because it's an hour away, and then eat late and have a meeting late. So I think maybe if we're gonna do Thanksgiving, it'll be pre-practice meal.
Wow.
That's dangerous.
Yeah.
Everyone will be sleeping.
Yeah, turkey sleep.
1 p.m. with like a 6 p.m. practice won't be terrible.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
You're probably really used to being on the road for holidays, right?
Yeah, like I actually haven't missed Thanksgiving in a while, but back when I was a kid, like teenager and with youth teams, I think we missed a lot. I know we missed a lot, but yeah, it was weird. I forgot it was Thanksgiving. My dad like FaceTimed me and was like, just sitting by the fire outside, getting ready for Thanksgiving tomorrow. And I was like, oh yeah.
What are you hoping to like see from the game on Friday with this team?
Oh,
there's a lot of new faces on this team.
A big W, number one.
Yes, for sure.
Lots of goals for us. I think, it'll be just a good kind of like barometer temperature check of like where we're at, how we look, and if we're able to be successful in a COVID world. So I just hope the game gets played. Like, just make sure everybody stays healthy, make sure there's no positives, make sure we get on that pitch, play that game, get a W, and yeah. And this will be kind of the start to hopefully the lead into the Olympics, which is weird because like we'll have a big break after this, but yeah, it's kind of like it's a weird game.
It's all so weird right now. Oh my God. What's it like when you kind of have a new squad, because there's a lot of young girls on the team and a lot of new faces. What is it like adapting to that with a team that you're not with all year round?
I mean, I think what the national team does really well is like this environment is based on like intensity and excellence. So I think that anytime you step in here, regardless of if it's like we haven't been in for a long time, I think we're all ingrained with this. Like that's just in our DNA now. But that being said, we do have a lot of new players in. So I think it's about kind of teaching them like this is how we operate. This is every single day, every single practice, every single game. This is what we bring. And, Vlatko does his homework and brings in players that he sees this potential in. And so it's kind of like as teammates and players, it's, our responsibility is just to like arm around the shoulder. You got this. This is what we're about. And then hold them to that standard. But then also, as an older player now, try to be a good veteran and like a welcome committee to the younger kids.
I love that so much because it's so important. I feel like because obviously it's such a competitive environment, but that like team chemistry comes from loving and supporting each other, and I think that's really awesome that you guys do that. And it just made me think like you were on the youth national teams, right? Like you were on the U16s and U17s. Is that correct?
All of that, basically, yeah. Starting from 16, yeah.
Did you feel like you had that support from some of the veterans, or was that kind of non-existent when you were growing up?
I mean, I never really I didn't come into the national team environment until, I came in once my freshman year in college, and that was like a week, and it was like, you are not ready for here, so go back to Stanford and like get better. And didn't come in until after I was done. So I was in that phase of like leaving college, turning pro, and trying to, solidify my spot or get introduced to this national team environment and somehow make it here. So it is interesting because we do have kids, I don't want to call them kids, but we have players that are they are younger, they are still college. So I never had that experience. Just, I mean, for a week I did, I guess. But when I came on the team, I felt very much so the same way that I think I try to approach the younger players, is like, I had a lot of older players that, you know, held me to a super high standard, but then were also super welcoming and kind and just like really good people. Like Abby and Hayo and Mitzi, those guys really took me under their wing and yeah, just kind of showed me the ropes and got me comfortable for the most part. It took a long time to get comfortable here, but yeah, I would say that I was definitely.
Doesn't that make such a difference though? Like, it gets rid of that whole initial period of feeling super uncomfortable and playing with literally no confidence. Like, I'm sure everyone experiences that when they go on a new team, and just the older players really do set the standard, because when you can kind of just make that initial period of welcoming as short as it possibly can be, so players can play to their potential in the beginning, I feel like that like speaks volumes and has a huge impact on a team.
Yeah,
you were talking about playing at Stanford. Do you think that going and finishing all of your years there contributed a lot to you as a player, instead of going right to national team?
Yeah, I think that, I mean, I was talking to somebody about this the other day, and about like, if I was in college now, like, would I be turning pro, you know, junior, senior, or sophomore, junior year? And I truly don't know. I mean, I obviously played all 4 years, and that was kind of just the way it was. And I don't know if I would do it differently if I was now at that stage. I loved playing for my school. Like, it was something I felt very like honored to do. And Stanford is such an amazing academic institution, but also like athletic powerhouse. So I had a lot of Stanford pride. So I don't know if it would have been a very, very hard decision for me to leave early. And for me, school was super important. So I think that if I did leave early, it would have had to been with some like contingency and some sort of deal. Like, I was talking to Allison Felix, and she signed a deal with, I think it was Adidas, that she didn't go to college, but she couldn't go to scholarship, like went pro. And so Adidas paid for her school. Like, they were like, we'll pay for all 4 years.
Wow.
So I think I would have done probably something like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but I don't know.
What was your major?
Got my degree. My major was science, technology, and society, with a focus in engineering.
So did you know, like, early on that you wanted to go pro, or was that something that you wanted to do also? If you did go pro?
Yeah, I think the major that I chose, I was definitely like, how do I see myself using this in the real world? And I think that would have been like with the renewable energy company, or like in consulting or something like that, which I was stoked on, and like, I think I would have really enjoyed. I obviously wanted to go as far as I possibly could with soccer. But the league wasn't around when I started college. So really the only place you could go post-college was either overseas, which like I didn't even really know as an option, or make it on the national team. So like my whole goal was to be like, you've got to get called in immediately, fall like in college, or like immediately following college. And thankfully I did, like it worked out that way, that I got called into the first camp post national championship game.
Damn.
So yeah.
It's good timing.
I feel like a lot of girls, like, who go to college, even if they don't think they're going to go pro, pick a major because it's easy based on their soccer schedule, which I feel like is such a bad thing to do. I mean, maybe I did that a little bit, but it's crazy. It's like, especially if you don't think that you're going to be playing professional, pick something that you're going to do after college soccer ends. And you still did that, and you went professional. So that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I think the way I looked at like my college search and choosing which college I went to, because I was very I didn't declare until is that what it's called? Commit until my my senior year, like senior fall, and all my friends had done it, you know, junior or sophomore year even. But the way that I approached how I chose a college was like, go to a school that you'd be happy being a student at, and not a soccer player or an athlete. And so I think that I chose a major based on like, what could I actually see myself doing? Like, I'm not just, obviously getting a college degree in anything is great. I also don't think you need a college degree to be successful in life, but I'm like, if I'm here, I might as well do something I'm interested in and could see myself using. And like, I want to learn things that are going to be useful to me in the future. So
Right.
I would suggest doing that.
So you decided like your senior year, was that because you were not sure of where you wanted to go? Were you trying to like weigh out your options?
Yeah. I started looking my junior year. You know, you get like, you know, I think it's September 1st, you're able to get the communications or the letters and that sort of thing. And I don't want to say I was like a late bloomer, but I really wasn't super serious about soccer until, like, I didn't commit to soccer until my sophomore year. So when the college process rolled around, I think I was maybe a little caught off guard, and really didn't know. Like, I don't know, you're like 16 and where do you want to go for 4 years of your life and like live away from home and that sort of thing. So I feel like I took my time and like really vetted all my options because it was a big decision. I was like, do I want private? Do I want public? Do I want a big school? Do I want a small school? Do I want East Coast? Do I want West Coast? Like, do I want a good football program? Do I want like nothing, you know? So it just took me a really long time to feel that I'd found the right place. And for me, it was like a feel situation. I like showed up at Stanford and I was like, oh, this is it. And I met the team, and that was kind of like the I don't want to say nail in the coffin because that is like feels like a bad thing, but the team felt like a family to me, and I was like, this is where I want to be.
I think that's so important that you took your time with it too, because this isn't something that I think, because we're so out of it, I forget how stressful that decision was. But like when we ask our followers what questions they have for you, they are so fixated on figuring out how you decided where you were going to school, what your recruiting process was looking like that's in the forefront of all their brains. And I forget how big of a decision that is for people, but it's great advice, because nowadays everyone feels like they need to figure it out by the end of their sophomore year or the beginning of their junior year. And it's just taking your time can lead you to discovering what the actual true and right option is for you. So I love that advice.
Yeah. And two, like, you weighed your options, and sounds like you were just so smart about it. Cause I feel like a lot of players are probably like, you know, oh my gosh, this amazing school wants me, boom. And then they get so like narrowed into this, and then they end up like hating their experience because, like you said too, with the majors and everything, like you just don't know what you want long-term. So these are just all such great tips for our lady ballers who have been asking a lot about the college process. So thank you, Kelley.
Yeah, of course. I think it's like, you just got to take your time, like don't feel pressure. I had a coach tell me like, I have one full ride and I have 3 players and it's up for grabs, so whoever commits first gets it. And I was like, that doesn't sound great to me, so I'm out. Like, you know, I think that I think it's important, like people, school, environment, city, like all of those, there's a lot to weigh. So it's not something you should make quickly or feel pressure to do quickly.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like the pressure gets to a lot of young athletes now, for sure.
I know, I hate it.
It's crazy.
Now they're like putting them in soccer at 3 years old and telling them that they have to like go to practice 6 times a week.
Yeah, it's so nuts. It's just getting more and more competitive.
Yeah.
But jumping back, when you said you went to camp for a week and they said you weren't ready, how was that? Like, did you take that and say like, okay, I'm going to use this to get better? Did that put you down at all? Because I know you also said in your podcast, which we'll talk about later, like you didn't make ODP the first time, right?
I didn't make the region team. I made the pool. Like I made state, the pool, and then didn't make the team. Yeah, so I had heard no before, you know, so it wasn't a new thing for me. It was a rare thing, like, from being honest, but it wasn't new. And I think that when I went into camp, it was in the understanding of like, I'm super young. It's just for the coach of the time to see me. And I think it was Greg Ryan at the time. And I'm sure I was bummed, you know, like you obviously want to go to the next level and perform out of your mind and be like the next big thing, but that just wasn't the case for me. And I do think it was like, all right, I just got a taste of what that's like, and I have a lot of work to do. So let's get back to like the drawing board and the practice field and make it so that the next time I get the opportunity, I'm ready. So yeah, I'm sure I was a little bummed.
I love even the fact that you can look back and not even remember specifically what that felt like shows how not insignificant, but how much it's not a big deal to hear no and to have that sort of setback, especially when look at all you've done after it, to the fact where you look back and you're like, I guess I was probably pretty bummed out.
Yeah, I will say I specifically remember, like I remember vividly many times I heard no once I was out of college on the national team and like going into consistent camps, but then like maybe didn't make a roster for a specific game or that sort of thing. I like, or like didn't make like Algarve Cup roster or whatever. I do remember those times, and that was like, but I think I was at a point where I was like, I know I can do this. So I'm really, really disappointed. And I'm like, gutted, and it feels like somebody ripped your heart out, which is like so dramatic for such like, it's like one thing, like you didn't make one roster, like, are you serious? But truly, like it was like that is how I knew I wanted it so badly. And it was kind of the same way I felt when I didn't make the region team, when I made the pool, didn't make the team. Like that was the same visceral reaction of like gutted, oh my God, like my world is crumbling. And so I think it's just like when I get to the point where I'm like, I can do this, I know that I have the ability to be here and perform and succeed, and I don't meet those expectations, then I have those.
Then that no hurts more, yeah. So how do you let that not get in your headspace? Wow. Or do you let it get in and use it, like channel it?
I definitely have learned that it's important to like feel the feelings, and like a good cry alone in a staircase, like, perfectly fine.
Well earned and needed, yes.
Exactly. Can be super cathartic. So I think, it's just learning how to not do like this has happened, this has been decided. Feel the feelings because they actually like that's how you feel, but then you can't dwell. Like there's no point, like nothing productive is coming out of this energy. Like get a different energy, work towards what you want to see. And that took time. Like, I don't think that's something, I think that's a learned kind of
skill.
Yeah. It's like a skill. You're like, you accept it and then you figure out how to make sure it doesn't happen again.
I love that.
Me too. And I think it's important for lady ballers to know, like, this is expected when you're trying to get better and you're going along your soccer journey, like you're going to fail, you're going to be told no, you're going to get cut from teams, but it's like you're saying, like focus on the things that you can control. Like, of course, feel the feelings, but don't let it cripple you. And I know, like, when I look back at my college career, my body language was terrible if something bad happened to me. And then I let it like live inside me for like a week, and it just is not a good thing. And like you said, nothing good can come out of it, so just like let it go in a way. And I think that's great. It's great advice.
Yeah, I truly believe that like every situation is infused with the energy that you bring to it. Like you could be in a really crappy situation, and if like you bring a positive energy, there's a chance that like it gets a little bit better, so. And sometimes it's not possible to do that, and that's okay. But like, if you have the ability to kind of bring a different positive, like, okay, let's move on type of thing, this can be very helpful.
Yeah. We know we're really short on time, but we do want to ask you some questions that some of our fans wanted to ask you.
Go for it, for sure. I was late, so you guys get me a five extra minutes.
Yes. Do you have a role model right now? And who is it?
Ooh, a role model. It's weird. It's like, I feel bad saying I don't have one. I just read Matthew McConaughey's book and I like really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Are you writing lists about everything that you check off now? Like he does?
No, I haven't done that, but I'm like, I really should document more. Like I sometimes have shied away from doing that because I'm like, ooh, I don't think I want to know like who I was at certain times.
True.
I do think it's important, like it's part of you, whatever. But yeah, I just read his book and I really enjoyed his perspective, and it was like a cool it was a good book. I recommend it.
Yeah, I'm halfway in. I really like it. He's a cool
I'm
dude.
jealous, but he has a video that it's like 3 minutes long, and it's like the most inspirational speech I've ever heard. And I think we put it on our blog one time, but like I listen to it every time I'm sad because like he just knows what to say. Like he's super awesome.
Yeah.
It's a great one.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's like a role model, but I'd say like
Yeah.
I recently read, his biography, and it was very inspiring.
Nice. Did you have one growing up?
That's another thing. Like I feel bad.
That's all right if you didn't. Yeah.
It's like weird because I definitely looked up to women on the national team. Like I remember asking for Julie Foudy's autograph at I think she played for like the Cyber A's or something in San Diego, and they were playing the Beat in Atlanta. But I'm kind of like, but I think I was doing it because like all my friends were doing it. Like, so I was like, oh yeah, autographs are cool. Which they are. They're it is what it is. But like I didn't have like one. I think I just looked up to like powerful women owning and like just balling out. And was like, oh, I want to do that. My first true look at like a female athlete was the 1996 Olympic team, like gymnastics team, not even soccer team. Oh. And I was like, this is dope. Like they're competing for their country. They're women. Their athletes are on TV. Like this is sick. So I don't have anybody specifically, but I think it's just like women that were owning it, balling out.
I like that. That's awesome. This one's it's different. What's your favorite vegetable? This might be easier to answer.
That's actually difficult too. Big veggie fan.
She doesn't play favorites.
I'm bad at the favorites game. Love me some Brussels sprouts, carrots,
roasted.
Roasted. Nice. The chip Brussels sprouts.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm a big veggie fan.
Nice.
So wait, so when you're with the team like you are now, are you guys, say it wasn't COVID, you go out to eat and you're on your own, like where do you go? Do you go to like a salad place, or do you go to like coffee shop? Like where would you go for lunch?
Definitely coffee shop, but I think more so like, I don't know, I don't want to say I'm a foodie, but like I do love being like, you're in a new city, let's try like a great restaurant, that sort of thing. So I don't know, it just depends. Definitely not a steakhouse, but anywhere else like that's good, delicious, healthy food.
We eat our way through every single country we visit.
Sure
I will never forget. We watched you guys play in Chicago, and Shannon or I picked the place, and we all got so gassy and sick from it. Like
we shared a one room with bunk beds. That was we requested the bunk bed room.
Yeah.
That was Carly's restaurant choice, though. Not great.
Nice.
All right, wait, we have another question. What is your favorite position to play? Because we know you play everywhere. What is your position of preference?
On the field.
That is a good answer.
I like it.
Attitude.
Coach, let's go play some soccer.
Have you always had that attitude of like, if a coach wanted to just completely flip your world upside down and switch you on the field, you just rolled with it?
I guess kind of, because like as soon as Pia said, okay, you're going to be an outside back, that's the only way you're going to make this Olympic team, I was like,
yep,
man, like, whatever. And then from then on, it was like, I could find myself at outside back, outside mid, outside forward, so it's just kind of like, if I'm seeing the field, like, and I got a chance to play, can't complain.
I love that. When we last podcasted, maybe it was with Mia Hamm, and then we were talking about when you play multiple positions, the perspective of what that person in that position is looking for you to do. Do you feel like that's made that's one of your strengths, is kind of knowing what every anticipated position is kind of looking for from you?
Yeah, and like as defender, I was like, oh, I know how a forward thinks. I'm just gonna I know what's going on in their head. So that gives me a step above any other defender out there who's always just been a defender.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, like you can be, I have another or different tool in my toolbox compared to some other people, because like I played forward for so long. So I know what these people are thinking, I know what they're going for, what they're trying to do, and I can be one step ahead of them.
There you go. Any passions besides soccer?
Love to cook. Love to surf.
Nice.
Don't really get to do it that much, but I do love to do it. I'm not that great. but I love it. Love to ride my bike. That sounds like such like an 8-year-old, but like I do. Like
I love it too.
It sounds like an 8-year-old or like a 75-year-old. It's like right in the middle. I love it.
Yeah, I think I like go to the basketball court in our neighborhood and like shoot hoops just by myself because like this is fun. You know, like I don't know, I like to be outside, have fun, be active. Yeah.
Nice. Most surreal moment on the national team for you?
No matter how insignificant of a moment, what was most surreal for you?
Oh, surreal? Oh. I don't know. I mean, maybe scoring my first goal after years was like pretty sick and surreal, and it was like, oh my God, how did that just happen? Like I've never scored a goal for this team, and now I'm scoring it. Like what? That was probably pretty.
What
surreal.
game was that?
That was the semifinals against Germany in 2015 at the World Cup.
In Montreal?
I think we were in Montreal.
Yeah, we
were there.
We watched. That was to me. That was the best game of the whole World Cup. Yeah, and that weird little yellowish type.
Yeah,
that should have been the final.
I remember the goal. We all peed ourselves. How do we not remember?
Just you.
I think I did too.
Yeah, that is unbelievable. Wow, feel so blessed to be able to. We watched you guys all throughout Canada. That was
cool.
That game was legit bonkers.
Yeah.
That was insane.
I feel like the semis are always supposed to be the finals.
Yeah,
That's true.
That is true. I mean, this last World Cup was like the semis were super crazy.
Yeah.
And intense.
Yeah, that was wild. I think there's one more. How have you kept, I don't know if you've had any major injuries, knock on wood, ever, but how have you stayed positive, like when you're, on the bench or you're sitting out because you tweak something?
Well, you were out with your ankle for a while.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely. I've definitely
surgery.
had a fair share of like, some serious injuries and not so serious, but just like annoying.
Yeah.
It's probably one of my biggest struggles as an athlete is like the mentality piece of like, how am I gonna mentally handle myself when I get injured, whether it's like for a day or for 6 months. And sometimes I think sometimes it's not easier, again, knock on wood, like for the longer term ones, you're just like, this is the reality. And then for the shorter term ones, like you tweak a quad or like your hamstring or whatever. And it's like, oh, is this like a day or is this like a week or is this 4 weeks, that sort of thing. And I'm like, I'm not good at it. It's something that I know I need to work on. I become like less productive, not only as like an athlete, but as like a human and other things that I do. Like I feel like I lose my drive and I'm just like depressed for it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, it's kind of not silly, but just, I'm like, get a hold of yourself, Kelley. Like you can still do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
You can't, it's
definitely not silly though, because you guys like, this is your life, like it's your job. You worked so hard to be the best. And then when something like that happens, you're just like, can someone give me a break? Like I'm just doing my best. And like, this stuff happens. But I think you're right. The mentality piece is like huge. And so many young players ask us, how do we stay positive? And I don't know if you do this, but do you keep yourself around your team so that you feel like you're a part of it and you're not really missing out on much?
It depends. Like if I can get like the treatment and rehab and stuff, then I like stay in whatever team environment I'm in. But if not, like it's got to take care of the body, like fix the body first, and then you can be around that. But I do think being in a team environment is good. Sometimes it's like you do need to step away because it can be very, like for some people it can be very draining. Some people it can be very energizing. I've found it to be both at times. So there have been times when I'm like, all right, I'm not playing for like 4 weeks. I need to like go somewhere and just be away. And I also never want my negative attitude that I'm feeling towards myself or my situation to affect the team. So it's like a delicate balance of feeling like you're supporting, but then also taking care of what you need to do. So yeah, I think it's a work in progress.
The reminder that you can always find something to do.
Yeah.
And not get kind of stuck in that world of like feeling helpless is a good piece of advice, because there really is so much you can work on, even if it's the stuff that you don't want to work on.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the
100%.
only way. That's the only way to spend that time.
Yeah, and I think that like time heals all, so that applies to broken hearts. It applies to strained hamstrings. Like it's just that's just the reality of
I feel
life.
like you should write a book.
I think that's the quote of this podcast. That was wonderful.
No, but it's like it's true. Like you get caught up and you're like, oh my God, when is this gonna heal? And it's like it's gonna heal. So just let it heal.
Yeah,
and,
give it time.
Feel the feels, let it heal. Right.
It usually helps to just like sleep it off,
And that, to sleep it off.
So true.
That's my book.
There you go.
Just sleep it off. Okay, so mine is gonna be, what is it? Heal a broken. Oh, time heals all. Broken heart.
Yeah.
Or a hamstring.
Heal the feels, let it heal. What was yours?
Yeah, that's mine.
And then Carly, yours is sleep it off.
It's just that.
Sleep it off.
Is it Alana or is it?
Yeah, Alana. I got nothing on this. Let's think. Snack it away.
Snack
Yeah,
it away.
Right,
there we go.
You all seem like great.
Well, that was a great way to end it. Thanks for coming on. And tell us about your podcast.
Yes,
Sorry.
I was going to say.
Oh yeah. Got a podcast, USWNT Sports.
Nice.
I just have it on because I've worn it every single day at this camp. Am I talking about the giveaway?
Your ad's going to be in it, so you don't have to, but you are welcome to.
Well, there's a giveaway, ladies and gentlemen. So pay attention and do what you have to do to win it.
Yes.
But I was going to say, what has it been like having like official conversations with these awesome women in the world of sports? Like,
it's been amazing.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I am not a podcaster. I've never hosted anything before. I've never really interviewed anybody in a official capacity. So, but it's very unofficial in the sense of like, it's peer to peer, it's athlete to athlete, which I was the most excited about because I feel like it's not, there's not a lot like that. Like talking with you guys get it. Like you were soccer players, like we have a lot of overlap and similarities and it's like a cool conversation and you can bring up things that probably apply to a lot of different people. And for me, it was like, I think that the conversations I can have with fellow athletes haven't been out there, or the way that the vibe isn't there. And so, I think that even though professional athletes seem like, oh, maybe unattainable or like, oh, they're very different. Like the part that I love about this podcast is it's very relatable. And so many people like friends and fans, but like a lot of my friends will be like, oh my God, so good. Like it was so awesome to hear this person's perspective on this, and I think it's cool because it's like, we do have these really awesome stories, but then at the same time, we're all human and we go through life and we all deal with ups and downs and great days and bad days, So, yeah.
It's awesome. You guys have to check it out. It's cool. You feel like you're kind of just like listening in on like a casual conversation between legends. Like it's like really cool just to like feel like you're in the room kind of talking sports with them. So I've loved it so far.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it. I love what you guys are doing. Lady ballers out here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Kelley. And good luck on your game on Friday. We can't wait to watch.
Thank you very much.
You got to get to bed.
I know. I do.
It off.
Yeah. Get to sleep.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Good luck.